Are we raising our kids better than we were raised, or we're missing something? Today we're going to be talking about parenting and faith, and how to balance everything without losing ourselves. So, if you think that parenting is easier now than it used to be, please put on the comment if it's easier or harder, and it will be a pleasure to read you. So, we are unpacking how moms and dads and family are handling raising a family within the faith environment, and all the ups and downs that comes with it. Welcome to the second wave. I'm Mr. B, and on this Monday, we're gonna have this conversation with this wonderful couple that I have in front of me. And with no further ado, I'm just gonna give them the opportunity to present themselves. Go ahead, guys.
All right, so my name is Rodney.
My name is Tredeen.
Okay, well, we've been married for 11 years, a little over 11 years. We have
4 kids.
4 kids, yeah, 4 beautiful children. My son, Malachi, we have Maya, our daughter, and then we have the
Twin daughters, Shiloh and Amariah.
You guys enjoying life with 4 kids. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
The more the better. The more the better.
That's right. That's right. Whatever makes you feel happy. All right. So, okay. Obviously, you guys have experience as parents, and you're pretty young. You know, so that means, you know, the way we were, well, young, still young. We're still young. Yeah, we're still young. Let's enjoy that. So, you know, the way we were brought up, and now things really changed. You know, things are completely different. So, before I even talk about parenting and everything, I really want to, you know, talk about a little bit the motherhood side of things. And you know, people underestimate a stay-at-home mom. You know, because they usually see it as like, you know, she's not doing anything and stuff like that. But I honestly, I see it as an entrepreneur. You know, I see it like as a CEO, because she handles everything in the house. You know, if I stay at home a day and I have to do like maybe half of the things that my wife has to do, it usually takes me like the whole day, you know, to get everything done. But she'll do it in like 30 minutes. So it's a lot of work. So, you know, tell me a little bit about that. You know, how you what's your point of view? What's your view, your take on that?
I think you're right. I think a stay-at-home mom is always working. She's always on the clock. She is like a jack of all trades, like you said. And, you know, she has different hats on. Sometimes she has to be a counselor. Sometimes she has to be a doctor. Sometimes she has to be a chef. You know, she wears many hats. So I find that stay-at-home mothers are always working. They're always on the clock. There's always something to do when you're at home.
Always on overtime.
Exactly.
You agree?
It's a lot of work, yeah. It takes dedication. It takes dedication.
What if you get the chance to swap for a day? Would you be able to do half of what she's doing?
I mean, you know, when God made me a man, it wasn't it wasn't to have me swap. So I'll say I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't swap, you know, gender roles. And you know, but all jokes aside, though, I mean, I help as much as I can, because, you know, you do it out of love, right? If you know, love the person that you're with, you want to make, you know, their load as easy as possible. So.
Well, so it's a lot. It's a lot to handle.
Yeah.
Especially, I like the fact that it's you guys, because you guys have twins, right? Which is, it's another level.
Everything
it's another
times
level,
2.
You know? Exactly. So how do you go, like, to manage all of that. Because like you said, you have to be a chef. You have to be a chef for most of the time because they're always eating.
Yes.
Kids are always eating.
Yes.
So you have to be a chef. You have to be a counselor. You have to be a wife because obviously you are married. You have a husband.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like in your case here, you have this guy as a husband. So it's like, it's
I'm trying to figure out what that means.
it's not easy, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not easy. So, and all of that, like, how do you process all that? How do you handle that?
Honestly, like, I just have to give the credit to God. Like, he's the one who sees me through everything. Like, I look to him for the strength because alone, I can't do it. Definitely, I can't do it alone. So I really get my strength from God, honestly.
But okay, so you get your strength from God. Now on the other side, because now you're handling the kids. The kids are what the two older ones.
10, 8, and 2.5.
Exactly. So they're going to school, right?
Yeah.
But the younger one they stay home. So you're always busy. You don't really have the time for you. As a CEO, you start when you present yourself, like people need to understand, like, this is a CEO. You cannot let yourself go just like that.
Yeah.
So that's that side of things, because you have to keep it in a way like your husband doesn't look back and be like, yo, I thought I got married to this person. You know, how do you handle all that process? Because it's a lot on the mental side as well. As a CEO, I need to understand that how CEO process things,
I think like a big part of it is being able to manage your time well, which is something that I'm still working on. So I think the better you manage your time, the more time you have for different things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So usually the first thing I do in the morning, I wake up in the morning, get the two oldest ready for school, and I do devotions with them before I send them to school, before I bring them to school. Then I come back, feed the twins.
You do devotion?
Devotions.
What's that?
Morning devotions. So prayer, reading the Bible, listening to the quote of the day. That's what our devotions are in the morning.
You do that every morning?
Yeah. Most mornings. I try to do it most mornings.
I mean, okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing that you find time to do that.
Honestly, it doesn't take that long. You could take 5-10 minutes to do it. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes.
Yeah, but just taking that 10 minutes, sometimes it's like almost impossible. But
yeah, no, it's easy to do it. Most mornings, yeah, it's easy. Unless I'm running late, but usually I could fit 10 minutes in for God, for sure. It's necessary.
It is. Yes.
It is.
Sometimes my husband does it. Like if he's working from home that day, sometimes he'll do it for me.
Well, when he does it, it's like 3 minutes. Because I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's just me. You can give me your opinion on that. But I feel like when we're doing it, the father are doing things a little bit different. Like you get to the bottom of the things like really fast. Like, okay, you got it. All right, let's go. So it's not really. I don't know. There's certain things I feel like we can't do.
I find he takes longer actually to do devotions than I do. Like I do it, I'm the one who usually does it, so I do it very quickly, like to the point. But he takes more time to do it.
A little bit too much. See, it's like that. Okay, so because me when I wake, like if that day, let's say I'm not starting my day early, and I have to get the kids ready, we're always late.
Okay.
Like we always did. There's no way we're gonna be on time. We're gonna be late. Why? Because when I wake them up, I'm playing around, right? I'm just playing around. I give them the chance to wake up properly and just play around. Okay, you want this? I'm making jokes and I'm doing this. I'm doing that. So every time, like it takes longer. Everything takes longer when we're doing it, and it's just I don't know. I think it's a mother's thing to actually handle the time.
Yeah.
But
I guess it depends how you look at it. I mean, to me, that seems like a you problem, to be honest.
Okay.
Because I think, the way I see it, we have 24 hours, nothing more, nothing less. If you want to sleep 8 hours, you have 16 left. So you really just have to position it in a way that you can you can prioritize things, So to me, I think the time that they have with God in the morning is a priority, because once they leave the house, after that, they're really, in God's hands, right? So they're exposed to the elements, whatever that may be, which is why I take time, I do devotion, like when I'm, at home, obviously, if I'm working from home. Not just reading the Bible, but if I'm reading a verse and there's something that I think they can relate to, especially on that day, I'll tell them, like, okay, like, do you understand what this means? You know what I mean? Like, it's not, I don't know, if you're reading Psalms 23, the shadow of death. Well, you read it, you can just pass over it, but then you can also stop and tell them, like, do you know what that means? That means death is just a shadow. A shadow doesn't hurt you. You see what I mean? So I like to go a little deeper into things with the kids, have conversations with them so that they actually understand and see that it's not just reciting Bible verses, or it's not a tradition. It's actually.
So you like going deeper.
I like to go.
So it takes
And
more
that's
time.
why his devotions take long.
It takes longer.
It takes longer, but
Exactly. So it's our problem.
No. But this is the thing. It takes longer, but I'm not late after that because I planned it. You see what I mean?
Like to be longer.
I planned.
So you wake them up early.
No, I just do it. I believe in delegation. You know what? I delegate things efficiently, so I could wake up at the same time. But rather than me going and getting, the bowls from the cupboard and then the food from the fridge, I'll get the bowl and I'll tell them get the food at the same time. So I just cut the time in half. Little things here and there you can save, 30.
I do that. I do that.
I make the kids work.
I do things a lot myself, so sometimes it takes me longer to do things, but Rodney does things so quickly.
Oh, yeah?
Because
I don't.
I spread the task because you know what? One day, sooner or later, they'll be doing this, by themselves. So I just ease them into it as early as possible. So.
Okay. Killing two birds with one stone. Okay.
That's it.
But okay, so talking about that. So the role of the fathers, right, in the house now, can I say completely different, or it's different, or no?
I mean, so that's a very good question, and I think sometimes the question is actually more important than the answer. This might be one of those cases. I don't think it should be different, because the role of the father was, implemented from the beginning. As soon as there was the first child, the role was implemented. Things have changed. Should they have changed? We are where we are. I mean, I'm not here to say if it's better or worse, but if I compare, my role to, let's say, my father's role, he was, here to, provide, security, provide food, provide access also to, Christianity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if I compare it to that foundation, I think I'm pretty much doing the same thing, right? So I guess it really depends in what optics you're looking at it.
You think so?
I think the roles of fathers, I think it's similar.
Okay.
I would say that the difference now is that mothers are working a lot more than before.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of, I guess, the providing aspect of things is now shared. Mm-hmm. I find that's somewhat of a difference. I don't think fathers are really physically correcting their children as much as they used to, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think those are maybe two differences that I can think of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I agree. I agree with both of you guys, because I feel like I mean, it's the same thing, but it's just, I feel like the parents are like, the fathers went a little bit soft. They're a bit soft.
They're softer than
Yeah,
before.
they're softer than before, you know? Like before, like, we knew that our parents, they had much love for us, but sometimes we question ourselves, like, yo, you know? But, I mean, look at us right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, but when we go back, I feel like it's just, it was like you knew the role of your dad, like, you know, when, wait till dad comes back. Oh my God. oh my God, like, wait till dad comes back. You know, it touches your soul, man.
Yeah.
Okay, remember back in the days, right? We'll do something wrong, and the way that we'll know that we did something wrong is if you see one of us going out of the line and asking for the Holy Spirit. You know it's bad.
Oh,
You know,
man,
you know.
yeah.
Okay, this guy did something wrong.
Did something wrong, yeah.
Pray for me. I want the Holy Spirit. Yeah, you know, we know you don't
Yeah.
want the Holy Spirit. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, the dad role, and I feel like right now everybody just went soft, and you can see the impact that it has on the kids. So
It's an interesting point because, you know, like my wife said, you know, like fathers don't correct their children physically as much. And, you know, she used the word physically because I think correction is still happening in different ways. However, maybe physical correction. And I mean, I also don't think the fathers are necessarily to be blamed because if you really think of the environment that the children are being raised in, they're going to school with people who are, I don't know, let's say they're in grade 3. Half of their friends have cell phones already.
yeah.
Yours doesn't. So already there, if care is not taken, they feel like they're missing out. And then the kids, you know, on this side, you know, they're going to the movies. You know, if sometimes they'll argue or disrespect their parents and this and that. So there's a lot of they're just given so much freedom in that sense, if I can use that word. And you know, our children in the message were saying, well, you know, you shouldn't do this. You know, we have stricter guidelines already. So now, if you add on top of that constant physical correction in this day and age, what is going to be the outcome? You know, because when we grew up, even the people in the world were getting corrected. I remember going to school and they were like, oh man, yesterday I got whooped. I did this and this. You know what I mean? So we were all having the same type of conversation.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's not like that. So they have that much leniency, and you also don't want to go on another extreme. You know what I mean? So I find it's just wisdom that's, you know, leading the fathers
Okay,
to
but
correct physically.
saying that, how do you lead without being controlling? You know, like without being like seen as a violent person? Because obviously, if you start beating your kids every single day, it won't work. It won't work. You have to balance things out. So how do you lead as a father without being, you know, that guy?
So I mean, that's an amazing question, and I think you know, to lead, you have to know who's following you. You know, so it really comes down to knowing the children individually, and then you can lead in a way that would be impactful for them. I read this book once. It was you know, teaching how to learn, or it was something, you know, of that nature.
Learning how to teach?
I think that's it. No, it's teaching how to learn. You know, it's yeah, you'll think you'll be learning how to teach, but it's actually teaching how to learn. So teaching someone how to learn, or you know, how to receive the information.
Okay.
Exactly, you know, so, or even like, teaching how to teach would also be a good way to see it, but it's essentially being able to be in the right you know, state of mind to give that information that you want, and also realizing that person might receive the information differently. So how do I give that information in a way that they can receive it? So I think if you want to lead, you have to know who's following, get to know your child, and, you know, from there, I mean, look, we have so many good examples, you know. We have the word, you know, that we can use, and, you know, even Jesus, like he always used the word, you know, I guess whenever, you know, tempted or whatnot, he would use the word. So I think we can use that as well to teach them, how to follow us, so.
I like what you said, because I feel like a lot of people don't understand. Before we were just being whooped just like that, because that was the way,
Yeah.
I'll say I wasn't corrected physically that much though.
You're a girl.
Yeah. My experience is a little different from yours. I wasn't I was, but honestly not that much to be fair.
Girl have that like me, it's tough.
I also listened though too, right? So
me, it's tough for me to correct my daughter. I'm still gonna do it, because I'm looking later on in the future how she's gonna end up if I'm not doing it now.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to do it while she's really young,
mm-hmm.
so that I won't have to get to do that when she's
at that
older.
Point, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the importance of knowing what kind of child do you have, who you dealing with. That's something really important. And I think leadership, that's the reason why I'm saying parenting, fatherhood actually changed a lot, because I feel like the leadership mindset is actually dying. It's really dying. And people are just following along with what society is doing, but they're not really taking the time to actually understand, okay, society is going this way, but my child needs this, not that. So if we're not really doing it, that's one thing that I feel like it's really killing the fatherhood side of things.
Yeah.
Because I'll whoop my kid every now and then, but then I'll cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry, but I know how I feel if I do it. I know the pain that I feel afterwards. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So I'm I have to make sure that I do everything that I can to make sure that they understand, so they won't do something that will force me to get to that level. So if you're thinking like that, it actually changes a lot.
Yeah, to me, physical correction should be a last resort. It shouldn't be the first thing that you do. You speak to them, speak, and after a while, if they're not listening to speaking, you have to use another method.
Maybe pinch a little bit.
Get there slowly, yeah.
Hey, I didn't say that, but I mean, you speak to them, try speaking to them first, and then hopefully they listen when you speak to them. But if it doesn't, then you have to change your method at some point.
Yeah, and I was going to add on to that a little bit. It really, so it's also knowing what the reason for the child's lack of listening is. So if you see a child and the child is not listening, automatically you think, okay, let me correct them physically. You drop the ball, because they could be it could be as a response to the way you're raising the child. It could be a spiritual thing, looking at Brother Branham spoke with Sister Hattie, right, and as soon as the Holy Spirit intervened, her two boys stopped right away. So if she was physically correcting them, it would have never changed anything, right? So sometimes you have to use discernment as a parent and see why are they acting this way, and then I think you can intervene correctly.
You know what I realized? The way that you guys are complimenting each other. Whenever you say something, she adds something. It builds up to one thing. So
we're the perfect couple. perfect couple.
So talking about that, parenting, the new style versus the old. I mean, especially us, as Christians, sometimes we were brought up in a sense, sometimes in the strict. There's the strict way, okay? There's the rough way, and there's the because I said so, right?
Yeah.
So each one of us got to a point they've experienced one of the three things that I named, like the strict, the rough, or the because I said so. Sometimes you do something or you want to do certain things, but they're telling you no. Why then you want to know why, and then you're because I said so, because they don't feel like, looking for the answer. So I want to know, like, the old versus the new. When it comes to communication, what should we keep from the old fashioned, and and what can we change from the new one?
I mean, communication, I would say I don't think we should keep anything from the old in terms of communication from my experience.
Okay.
I just think that it's important to communicate with your child, to explain to them if they have a question about something, that you explain it to them thoroughly, so that they understand your point of view, not to say because I said so. I think it's important to explain to them why, so that they can understand and that they don't leave frustrated, after they have a question.
I agree.
I think it's kind of relative, right? Because I'm just thinking about how we grew up, and I think really, like, I mean, if I think back to my parents and stuff, it worked for us just because they took a lot of time. I remember my mom would pray a lot, and they'll take time to analyze, the type of children we are, and they knew, like, we had conversations, like me. Looking back, I mean, I hear a lot of stories about, some parents, just like, this is it, but I think, my mom would take the time to sit down and, really explain things like, such and such and such, and she would do it biblically. And I remember my dad would say, I would leave, my mom to bring the spiritual aspect of it, explain it, biblically, because she did that part really well. And he would do it on a day-to-day basis, like, like on a, just so that you can understand the physical implications or the real world implications, So I had a bit of both, and I think that really worked. So me, I would like to, implement it the way they did. I would probably tweak it a little bit in the sense that, I mean, once more, every child is different, so I'd have to see what works for my children. But the way we were, or the way I was specifically, I think that worked for me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like now it's really tricky. It's a bit tricky, because if we talk about, okay, because I said so, let's say we remove that, right? The rough side, the strict side, we remove that, and we go really we lean more into explaining and stuff like that. I feel like we might end up like going to certain route, and like you get stuck because your explanation, because now the kids are exposed to a lot of things. They're exposed to a lot of things, and I just feel like they need to know, like, okay, bro, stop. You just stop the conversation. If I say no, you just don't do it.
Yeah.
I might come back. I'll come back. Not I might come back, but I will come back with an explanation. But for now, just stop. Don't do it. I just feel like we kind of need that, but it has to be in a way, like, it has to come from a place where you understand the other person too. You understand the child, that he need an explanation, needs to understand. And if I'm just preventing him from doing something with no explanation, when I turn my back, probably gonna go back to it and just do it because he didn't receive no explanation. Maybe he'll be like, okay, maybe he just don't want me to do it in front of him. So I might, if I do it, there's nothing wrong that will come out of it. So I feel like
a middle ground, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't think everything has to be explained.
Exactly, yeah.
I think in general it would be good, but I do agree with you that sometimes no is no.
Yeah.
I do agree with that.
And that's my fear. Something that I fear a lot is not that I fear a lot, but I mean, I'm scared for the newlywed people, And sometimes I'm looking at people that are getting married, but the leadership part of like that mindset of just understanding, like, at this point here, this is what I have to do, and not raise your kid based on social media, because you see, like, certain things are cute on social media, but once the cameras are off, it's annoying. Remember listen, Linda,
Oh,
Yeah, I
man.
remember that. I
Oh,
remember
man.
that.
It's cute, right? It's cute.
It was funny.
It's funny for a second. But just think about it every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, Rodney.
Imagine your child is doing that to you. That is crazy. That is, yeah.
Like those things, and I feel like the leadership. That's why I feel the father side, like the strict. I feel like we need to be more strict now than back in the days, because back in the days we still had that fear, like, yo, this is my dad. The way Malachi will come around, sometimes you're just sitting there, you just jump on your back.
Yeah.
Like, yo, dad.
Yeah.
Imagine. Imagine.
It's
we live in a different world.
a different world, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I come back from work, I'm just sitting there, I'm just trying to eat my food, bro. And then, let's go! Let's go! Jump on daddy's back. Yo, even my daughter, bro, will come out of nowhere. Let's fight! And I'm playing with them. It's okay. Yeah. But back in the days, me, like, just think about it.
Couldn't happen.
I'm scared right now. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, oh.
You're sweating just from the thought, yeah.
Exactly. So,
it's interesting because, I think every method used in every age, you only know the outcome after that age. You know what I mean? Like, so the same way our parents were probably raised differently, for all you know, than they raised us, they only found out later what the outcome was, and it'll be the same thing. We really have to use, wisdom and be prayerful as to how we're raising our children, because it's true. Like, I do want that closeness with my children. I want them to be able to jump on me and play, but there are also different stages. I had seen this. I think it was in a book. I don't really remember, but the first 5 years you're their parent. The next, let's say, 10 years, so you have different roles to play, and at some point you will be their friend, but it's probably not now. You see what I mean? Now, you should be their parent. You should focus on that, and you should create clear barriers, right?
Yeah.
So it's good to play with children, but at the same time, me, when I play with my kids, I play, but then, there's that look. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So they know, like, okay. You know what I mean? And sometimes too, you can see in the kids, like, they don't just they'll jump on you, but they look a few seconds before they do it, just to see, like, okay, it's now the right time. So I think that respect still is there. Yeah. It's different, it's just different now.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, what you said, it's really important for people to understand. Like, you need to implement those things, like, from the get-go. This is the line. You don't cross this line. Like, we cool, we can play, we can have fun, but at some point, if I look at you, I don't have to say anything. Like, I look at you, you understand, okay. Yeah. But if you just think, the mindset is really important. The mindset is really important.
It is.
But I don't know. Like, I'm really praying for them. I mean, we're not out of the game yet, because we
have a long way to go.
We have a long way to go. We definitely have a long way to go.
That teenage era.
Exactly. I don't even want to think about it.
I know.
But but I truly believe that if we do the right thing now, we're gonna see the result later on. And if we look back, like what you said earlier, it's like, whatever we're doing now, we're gonna know the result of it, like, later on.
Yeah.
But if we take the time and we use our wisdom to actually study the way people used to do it back in the days, what was good, what was bad, and then we take everything, all the good side of all the era that passed before us, and then we put it all together, we're probably gonna end up with a good result. So, yeah, we're definitely gonna have to study other people.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also not black and white. There's a lot of gray. It's not just. I mean, as a child is growing, you can, still adjust. Mm-hmm. It's not that, I started off playing with them, I have to do it for the rest of my life. No. At some point, you can realize that, hey, what I started isn't working. And if they're still young, you can, redress the tree, right? You can readjust it, so. Yeah.
Now, with all that, four kids, right? Four, that's a lot. Jesus
it is
Christ.
A lot.
4 kids. You guys have a minivan?
Absolutely not.
Oh no.
Jeep girl for life.
Well, I'll get you a minivan at some point. Listen, I'm thinking with the kids and everything, work. How do you manage to include the faith side of things, the spiritual aspect of things, like in the house, to make sure that they understand that they're growing up as Christians and doing that? Like, how do you manage the time around that?
Honestly, again, like you need to let your kids know who they are and why they're here to some degree. Like, you know, you're a son of God, you're a daughter of God, you're a prince of heaven, you're a princess of heaven, and you need to keep letting them know who they are. God has a purpose for your life. There's a reason why you're here. And you just need to keep telling them these things, doing devotions with them in the mornings, at night. You know, keep on enforcing these messages so that they understand who they are, who they really are.
You only do it like when it's the devotion time, or you do it like on a regular basis?
Well, during the week, you know, I mean, you're very limited with time, right? So we do it morning and night, and then on the weekend, then we could have a longer devotion where we'll listen to tapes.
Okay.
So we do the prayer, singing, quote of the day, and then we'll listen. Most weekends we'll listen to a tape.
He sings too?
He does.
I got a lovely voice. I won't let you hear it though. And just to add to what she said, I remember I had a conversation. We had Brother Ghislain, who's now in the church in Shawinigan, and I was speaking to his daughter Alix, and I asked her once, because honestly I really appreciate the way, like there's something about this brother I really appreciate it, and I asked her, like, what was it about him growing up that really stood out to you? Like, how did he, because I find they came out quite well too. And she said, growing up, she would remember, like, sometimes she'll wake up at night, or, at random points and see, he's praying, and that really, like, did something for her, because as a child, I mean, children are young, but they're not dumb,
Yeah.
So they know what real is and they know what acting is. If they see that you're only screaming and praising when you're in church and at home you're not doing it, they'll be like, stop. So to me, that's really it. I think, prioritizing Christ, as a parent, the children will see it. They'll see that, even if at some point in their life, they'll go and they'll say, oh, well, that's just my dad again, like it still will have an effect on them, like the Bible says, raise a child in the way of Christ, and, when they grow, they won't depart from it. So I think the fact that I had that conversation with her as an adult and it still impacted her, it just shows the power of prayer, the power of spending time with Christ and having a closeness with Christ, something real with Christ. As a parent, the children will see it, and it will impact them. So.
But do you feel like the father, other than praying, right? Other than praying, like, a father have to show like that, has to show that Christian side of, like, to the kids, or because the mom will do it, but I don't know, the mom is like, she always had that soft side. She always touched the soft side of things, even though sometimes they can be rough too, but
I was about to say soft.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, mom, she prayed to God and everything, but yeah, dad he's always working, he's always busy, this and that. Like, do father have to do certain things a certain way? Like, how do you see it?
So I think what should be and what is not always the same. I believe that a father should be, I just believe in being real, you know what I mean? Like, whether a mother or a father, if you're going to demonstrate a certain life to the child, make sure you actually believe it, because the worst thing is, trying to portray something that you don't actually believe. Once they catch that, and they will, they're going to go the opposite direction, So to me, it's not even necessarily about, getting them and saying, oh, like, like you said, even prayer aside, I mean, reading the Bible or, just having conversations. I think once you truly believe it, if you truly believe, the message that we claim we believe, the child will feel it. He'll feel it. Yeah. He'll see it in your words, and like it's that in itself is going to be a huge impact.
So the Father is more on the demonstration.
Demonstration, exactly. I think words are good, but words can also. I mean, if imagine every opportunity I have, I just start telling them, oh, you want to do this, but the Bible says this, but the Bible says this, and I keep quoting it to them. They'll be fed up. It's more in demonstration, They'll be like, wow, this father of mine really loves me. You know what I mean? Like, if he's correcting me in love. I don't see anger in his eyes when he's correcting me, So these little things, like, these little things go a long way, Like, so I believe in demonstration,
Yeah.
I believe in demonstration.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was for the to find a space for faith in within the family. Now, we are at the end of the podcast, but before we leave, right? So we have this new segment, we call it Hot Seat.
Oh boy!
Right?
Uh-oh.
All right. So Hot Seat, basically it's a question. It's just a random question like that. I mean, it's a random question that someone had. So we read the question, and then you give the answer based on what you know, whatever. So this time around, we want to have the wife's perspective, okay? So your version and your version. So we need two answers, right? So okay. So what's the question?
She's looking for the hardest question. Oh no.
I feel guilty that I don't have hours to pray as a parent. Am I failing in faith, or what should I do to actually prevent the same thing to happen to my kids?
Okay. So I mean, I think, whoever asked that question, they for sure it's been, on their mind for some time. And I mean, I feel like if I give a quick answer, I'll be doing a disservice to them, but if I can just, kind of brush over it, I think that, the first step to change is recognizing that something needs to be changed. And I have to commend them for recognizing that and, actually asking this question because they realize that they are in a position that if they keep going down this path, their children will be affected, So they've already done half of the job, As hard as it may seem, they have already done half of the job, which is recognizing the issue. And now when you recognize it, you just have to implement what you already know, which in this case is actually taking time. And like I said in the beginning, you have 24 hours. So, everyone has access to the same 24 hours, We have things that make our lives a little easier now than our parents did. And if they were able to, still find time with, 7 kids and things like that, it's time to, just realize that we're probably wasting time with things that aren't necessary. Put those things aside and prioritize our children. And when I say prioritize our children, we're prioritizing Christ, we're prioritizing the message. Let's give ourselves more time for the word, and by doing that, we'll be prioritizing our children.
I'll just borrow from my husband a little bit. The fact that they recognize that they need to pray more is a good thing. But honestly, I don't think you should feel guilty about that, because I think every parent goes through that, where they want to spend more time with God, but because of the cares of life, for whatever reason, like they have to do this, they have to do that, they have to bring this person here, this person there. So I don't think you should feel guilty about it, because then you're just going to stay in the guilt. I think you should just try to do better. So, for example, an idea could be, okay, let's say you get up at 6 in the morning to start your day, to get your kids ready for school. You could maybe get up at 5:30 and take this time to pray for 30 minutes. I think every minute you give God, he will take. And I think you getting up at 5:30 will show God that you really love him and that you appreciate him. So you taking just 30 minutes, waking up earlier. If you love to sleep like I do, I love to sleep. Just taking that extra 30 minutes, I think he will bless you for it so that you can pray. And at night too is when you could take some extra time when you're in bed to pray as well. So when the kids are all asleep, in the morning before you wake up and at night before you go to sleep, that's an idea I could give them to, if you want to get some extra prayer. But I don't think you should feel guilty about it because it happens to all parents. And don't stay in the guilt. Just try and do better every day. And also, I would say, like, social media, like, I feel guilty because, like, I'm barely on social media. I would say I have no social media. I just have WhatsApp. So, like, you won't find me on social media. The only people that have me is people who have my number, like you. So, like, and I'm barely on it. And I feel guilty because, like, there's so many friends that I want to speak to, that I want to call, that I want to video call, that I haven't spoken to in so long. But I can't because I have to prioritize my husband. I have to prioritize my children. Like, I just don't have the time. So I'm feeling guilty about not connecting with my friends because I have to prioritize my family first, you know, because at the end of the day, like, I just want my children to end up right. And that's my priority. Unfortunately, like, friendships do take a back seat, you know, so I think it's important to prioritize your family too over friends and over social media.
And it's also kind of important to say that you know, it's an investment. Either you'll pay for it now or you'll pay for it later, you know. So like the sisters, was it a sister or a brother?
I don't know if it's a sister or brother. But...
So like the person who asked the question, you know, said they feel like they're failing their child. I mean, if you don't do it now, I mean, you'll pay for the consequences later on when the kid is in their 20s or 30s and 40s, and then you'll be on your knees begging God, like, oh, bring them back. So, you know, a lot of times prevention is better than cure, you know. It's better now when they're young. I use that because it's a
Jamaican expression.
Yeah. So, you know, it's better to prevent it by, you know, praying now and taking the time. Yeah, you might feel like, you know, you're exhausted or you're missing out and this and that, but it's either you do it now or you do it later. I mean, the child is already born.
Yeah, when they're adults, they're already set in their ways.
Exactly.
So you have to do it while they're still young, while they can still be molded, you know, so.
All right. So the CEOs have spoken, and, you know, so if I'm just going to go, like, you know, you guys correct me if I say something wrong here. So the steps that we went through, right? So if I get what you said from the beginning, so moms should treat their house like an enterprise, right? Like, make sure that they organize everything and.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would agree with that.
And dads, what about, okay, so what should take over, the presence or perfection?
Presence or perfection? Can you clarify that question a little so I can answer it properly?
Presence or perfection?
Presence, like, what do you mean presence? Like my presence in the household, or
what are the presences
there are gifts, presents?
Oh, come on, bro.
No, but I mean, I need to understand because you say presence or perfection. So are we speaking? So, and what do you mean by perfection? Like, I know what perfection means, but...
You know, like, I'm going to provide you the perfect life.
Okay. So, I mean, I would say presence. You know, if you're present for your children, they'll appreciate it more later down the life. You know, no one is... It's like they say, you know, people are going to remember how you made them feel, you know, later on in life. So your presence will have a greater impact. But I mean, also perfection. I mean, what is perfection? Does perfection exist? those are also questions. Another question for another day, because that
Yeah,
can go down a rabbit hole, But
Yeah,
I'll
especially
say
with
your presence, if you come the right way, if you are a parent who is playing the role the right way, then your presence will have the right impact.
Presence before perfection, right? Okay. So, what was the thing that we said we're gonna blend from the old school and the
I think it was like the role of the father, communication.
Okay.
Well, we'll take the good from the past and bring it down, because there are a lot of good things that were done in the past, and I think it should be carried down. It's not for no reason the Bible said, "Spare the rod, spoil your child." So it means physical correction is needed. I think we have to now integrate a certain level of wisdom with it, and that merger will create a good outcome.
Okay. One last thing. Okay, now the kids, obviously they can't drive, they can't they have to go with you wherever you go. But the second that they can actually take the bus by themselves, they can stay home. Do they have to go to church every time you guys go to church, or no?
Absolutely. Absolutely. As long as you live it under my roof.
He's about to say something.
Okay, as adults?
No, I mean the second, what?
They could get their license at 17, 16, 17.
15? No, that's
15,
wrong. Let's say 15.
I think it's
Let's say
16.
15. Because 15 they can stay home by themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't get it. I don't get it. But you're 15, you're going to church with me. Absolutely. There's not a question. Not a question. That actually gets me upset. That gets me upset. I don't understand.
No, but it's the thing is this: legally, you can't keep a child away from school. You know what I mean? You can't say I'll keep you, because you have the child has a right to education. So, I mean, within let's say Quebec, we're living in Quebec. Within Quebec, the state decides that you're living within Quebec, I will force you to get an education. Now, if you're living within my house, this is my state, you will be forced to get a spiritual education. You know what I mean? I'm giving you access to also a spiritual education, which to me is just as important, if not more. So, yeah, I think it's important, yeah. You're living within the household, we're all going to church.
No basketball games on Fridays. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
God.
But, okay. All right.
I feel shots were fired there.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So, one last word from you guys. If you wanted to give someone an advice, that's about to get married, or about to get they're about to have a new child or something like that. How to handle the parenting aspect of things. So you can look at your cameras and.
I would say that marriage it's wonderful when you're married to the right person. Honestly, marriage the last 11 years has been wonderful for me. I thank God for my husband every day, because he gave me such a good husband. But I want to let those sisters know that motherhood is very sacrificial. So as soon as you have a child, you are last place. Your husband and then your children become your priority, and you're going to miss out on a lot of things, like I said before, being able to talk to your friends, maybe being able to exercise, being able to go out. But I just want them to understand that it's just for a season. Missing these things are just for a season. When your kids are a little older, then you'll be able to maybe do some of the things that you used to love to do. But for a season, you just have to dedicate your life to your husband and your kids and to God. So that's what I want sisters to understand, that motherhood is not glamorous, it's sacrificial, but it's only for a season. But you're a mother forever, obviously, but when they're young is when it's very sacrificial.
So I mean, what I would say is that I guess speaking, as far as fatherhood goes, I mean, this is not reinventing the wheel. This is not doing anything new. Fathers have been around for ages. You have resources, you have examples. I mentioned Brother Gislain before. Within our church, we have, Brother Fagnon, who had sons, and, you see the love and the way he raised them. Brother Matthew, Brother Frank, Brother Jerry. I mean, the list goes on, like you see the love that they have for the children. Everyone has, different challenges that they have to meet. But, the resources are there, the examples are there, whether scripturally or, physically around us, right? So, I just think the most important thing is to, actually have what you're trying to instill in your child. So get Christ within you so that you can actually, instill it on them, because they will know if it's real or if it's not. So to me, that's one thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, but you didn't send the compliments to your wife though, like she did. But,
That's okay.
She knows it.
That's okay.
But
I know you can't live without me.
Yeah. Obviously, you won't survive. You won't survive. But okay, so I usually don't do this, but I want to add this thing, okay? Because what Tredeen just said.
He enjoys putting us on the spot. That's what it is.
No.
He enjoys it.
Yeah, I like doing that. Obviously, it's because it's you guys, but you said something really important. Like it's really sacrificial, like motherhood and stuff like that. The brothers also have to understand that, the reason why you were able to give compliments to your husband is because your husband is actually there helping out for all those things. So if a man is actually getting married thinking that, I have a wife, she'll handle everything and I can be free, but then just don't do it, because you won't get any compliments.
That's a fact.
Compliments. So, I just needed to throw it out there.
Yeah.
So thank you once again. It was a pleasure having a conversation with you guys, and I hope that it blessed someone out there. And we out for today.